The thing that I like. All right, we live. We live. You tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. I got my. I'm the host, Brandon B. Dixon. I got my co-host, Stephen Contreras,
Hey,
here
how
as
are you guys
well.
doing?
One thing I forgot. Let me go ahead and start it off on the Apple. Here we go. We're live on Apple, Google, and Spotify as well. So, the Power of Ownership podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a published author, community activist, mortgage broker, um, so on and so forth. A lot of titles, a lot of hats. Um, let's start off with promoting everything. I got to promote. So it's mortgage season right now. So this is what I do by trade. This is my daily job. Go to my website, hocmortgage.com, if you want to apply for a mortgage. We have all kind of programs available, down payment assistance, VA, USDA loans. We have non-QN loans, non-prime loans. So we got a loan that could fit you. So hocmortgage.com, go ahead and apply right now. Also, a lot of people are asking me. I had like 2 or 3 people ask me last week to mentor them. I am taking on mentees, especially right now this year in 2020. I'm taking on 2 more loan officer mentees, and I'm taking on several more realtor mentees. So if you're a realtor, you're new in the business, and you want me to mentor you, um, go ahead and hit me up, www.billionaireloanofficer.com. I can show you my system. I have a system that works, a system that can make you some money, take you from obscurity to prosperity. That's the
There
whole,
you
that's,
go. hmm
that's the whole thing. Any other questions, give me a call, 832-775-8357. Call me 24/7. Got any questions? Also, one last thing, at billionaireloanofficer.com on all social media. Social media has been taken off the last few weeks. A lot of more. I want to say hello to all our new YouTube subscribers, all my new Instagram subscribers, so on and so forth. Facebook, so on and so forth. Steven, go ahead and tell them about yourself, introduce yourself, tell them where they can find you, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Contreras. I'm a geologist here in Houston, Texas. I'm kind of like, I guess, a Renaissance man. I like the sciences. I like the arts. I'm about just trying to better ourselves each and every day, And you can find me on Instagram, Stephen Contreras 90, Facebook, Stephen Contreras, and yeah, just try to help people who need some help, some guidance, and just everything that we can do to make your life a little better. That's what we do. So.
Gotcha. So let's go ahead and introduce the show, and let's go ahead and start the show off. The Power of Ownership podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, what we talk about is we talk about ownership not only of properties, because that's boring, because how many shows can you do about properties? But we talk about business ownership, we talk about ownership of intellectual property, so on and so forth. But most importantly, we talk about ownership of yourself and ownership of the mind, body, and the soul, and how to bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen realms in order to make things. So this is the premise of the show. So yes, we are on some nerdy stuff. We are nerds. We
Always.
talk about we talk about self-improvement. We talk about stuff that the average guy will find uninteresting. But the power is in the growth. The power is in the self-sacrificing and the betterment of yourself in order to get to the next level. So yes, this isn't for everybody, but if you a future billionaire or a future millionaire or a future philanthropist or future mover and shaker, this is the show for you. If you're an average Joe, you're looking for entertainment while you're I don't know, you're bored or something, it's probably not the show for you. You see what I'm saying? So for those who want to better themselves, for those who want a better life for not only themselves, their family, their community and stuff, this is the show, The Power of Ownership. So we take ownership of the self first, and then we could take ownership of everything else. I wanted to start the show and talk a little bit about, I commonly talk about what's been on my mind, you know, um, for the week. And I'm gonna start off with a little story. I kind of did a little reflection this week, and I found out like a lot of people don't listen to me. Not in the sense of YouTube, but I'm talking about you ask for advice or you seek advice, I give it to you, and you don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is that a common thing or is it just me? Because this is pretty much the story of my life. People see I've always done well for myself. I've always had above average not only income but results and stability, so on and so forth. And people always asking me how do I make these certain plays? How do I make these certain moves? I give them advice and they never do it. You know,
For sure.
but yet they try to copy what I do. But when I tell you what to do, A, B, and C, you don't do it. But you'll try to do a bastardized or a hybridized version of what I'm doing from what you see on the outside.
Are these people close to you?
Somewhat. I mean, some people may be in the community. Sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's coworkers or peers.
Mm-hmm.
But even clients, I've had clients that and this one made me start the reflection is that I had one client that really took my advice, and this was my first client in a while that really took my advice. Most clients don't even take my own clients don't take my advice. They kind of knucklehead. They kind of do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and the one that really took my advice, she really made off, and she really has done well. So, and I'm thinking, is it my bald head? Is it the beard?
No, it's just human nature, I think.
So it's not just me. Well, I mean, what do you get the same thing, or what's the deal?
Yeah. You like, especially with people who I'm close with. Like, I try to help them. You know, I give them advice, and like, usually after 5 seconds, or like they will just shut me out. They don't even care. They're like, Steven, we don't care. You know, like we're still gonna do what we want to do, and like, you know, no matter what.
Right. So it's not just me then. So everybody, so I was thinking it led me to, as I go deeper. So I went a little bit deeper. So is it just something that's plaguing our community or the planet or our generation where we have the answers right in front of our face, but we choose to make the bad decision? So this is where I come with the topics. Now you kind of see where I'm going with the topic is that why do a lot of us make bad decisions? And why are we like, when you ask for the answer reveals itself, you don't follow the advice. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think I think it's more noticeable now because of how dense the world actually is. You know, I think it's a lot harder for people to like actually understand what they're trying to do. Like original thought or original decisions are very hard things to grasp. Actually, I think it takes the average person a long time to actually figure that part out. And and that's why you said you see them, they try to make the halfway stuff, those halfway ideas based on what you're doing. It's just that's they think it's easier. It's hard. And then that's where the bad decisions come in, because like they would rather make bad decisions over and over again than try to figure out how to make a good one.
Is it the work itself? Like when I tell you, all right, it's going to be work. You need to do one. Is it too overwhelming?
I think it depends on situations. I think that the average person, it shouldn't be too overwhelming.
I think the opposite. I think for the average person, they want it. I don't know if you remember the magic diet pill stuff that I said, eat less, and move around more. That skit.
I tell people that all the time.
Right. It's like they can't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm giving you the answer. Eat less, move around more. Oh, they got to be something else. Nah, that's it.
That's it.
So it's the same thing. It's like, I think maybe the work is too overwhelming, or they think that I'm trying to deter them from off of my path, from creating my own competition. So I'm gonna give them the long way around, and they thinking, hey, they got to be an easier way. So now they mimic what they think that's going on, the easy stuff, and it still have cocked.
Yeah, I think that's where the bad decisions actually do come in, because all those things that you just said, it leads down to just habits, right? Like the whole habits of how they've always done things. Until the person actually digs deep and reflects on those habits, it's very hard for them, I think, to change, to make good decisions, at least.
Right. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this. Is that so? The question is, so since we a lot of times make bad decisions, these decisions are a reflection on our lives. Because think about it. Average people have made, and below average people, what I mean by that is that the average Joe, if you ask them, let's be all the way honest, will want to
Sure.
be rich, will want to be successful. Why are these people not successful? Because they have made some bad decisions, or non-activity, or non action as a to their decisions that they have made. So my question is, how to make the best decisions?
Yeah,
How
how to make.
can we make the best decisions? If I was not talking about myself here, I'm talking about for the average person that wants to be a future millionaire, future billionaire. How do you make the best decisions?
I would say just not acting in emotion. Number one. Number two, I would say, yeah, I would say number two would be like just living in the moment. Don't act in emotions. Live in the moment, and just trying to think of what you're doing. Like go with your instincts too is always a good one. Because your instincts aren't usually wrong. So if you think you should wake up early tomorrow to get some things done because you need to, that's an instinct. You should probably go off that instinct. Does that help?
Right. Well, I got a little bit different. First things first, my list would be this. This is how I make the best decisions. First thing first, you have to learn how to meditate.
For sure.
Most people don't know how to meditate. That's the thing. It amazes me. So wonder you can't get focused. How can you, if you can't focus, how can you make a decision? That's like trying to, all right, I'm going to decide if I pull this switch, a baby dies. If I don't, an adult dies, and I'm trying to play Madden at the same time. And I'm trying to make this decision. I can't
Yep.
focus on it. So you have to start off with training your mind, because meditation is the gym for the mind. It's training your mind to stay focused. Most people, if you see them, they're scatterbrained. They can't keep one thought, in their head long enough. They can't sit down and watch a lecture long enough to better themselves. This particular podcast, we've already lost the people that can't sit down and focus.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to focus first. So you have to meditate. And the proper way to meditate, I had to teach my cousin this the other day, is meditation is simply the slowing down of thoughts. So if you average, 28 thoughts per minute or whatever, however, you're going to need to slow it down to 7 thoughts per minute,
Mm-hmm.
or 5 thoughts per minute, 3 thoughts per minute. Or you want to get to the ultimate 1 thought. If you concentrate on one thing without drifting for 1 minute, that's concentration.
For sure.
So now when I get in practical situations, real life situations, now I can be more detail oriented I'm not gonna be all over the place, because when you're all over the place, you're no place.
Exactly.
So the first thing is first, you got to learn how to meditate. Most people pray all the time. You pray, that's outward. What about inward? You need to learn how to meditate and focus. And once you learn how to meditate and focus, then I can start. Not only, I'm not even gonna get into the unseen things.
Yeah, for sure. That's a whole nother
That's
video.
a whole nother thing. But at least I can focus on what I'm doing or what I'm trying to weigh out. If I'm all over the place, blah blah blah. All right, I can't think. You go off of impulse, or like you know, or you go off of what you feel, your gut.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's wrong.
Maybe
So,
it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about like gut or instinct, yeah, I think instincts are important. But
depends, because it depends on what if you got to train your instincts.
for sure, like
Right.
like said, meditating. You know, like if you got so good at meditating, you know, you can just your instinct because it's you, right?
But I'm talking for not myself. I'm talking about for the average Joe right now. Our instincts are trained bad. Our instincts are trained to the easy.
Oh, for sure.
Trained to the least amount of resistance. And most of the time, the least amount of resistance is going to be the wrong path. So you got to retrain your brain and retrain your mind frame. Well, should I say? Let me cut out brain. Let me retrain your mind frame into thinking what is going to give me the best yield, not the easy. That's what's going to make me feel good. Because what happens is what makes you feel good is most likely bad or detrimental to you. A donut makes me feel good, but it's bad for you.
Yeah, it's true.
You got what I'm saying? You know, having unprotected sex with this fine woman feels good, but it might get her pregnant, or she might have an STD.
Yeah, 18 years, you know.
Yeah, it might be bad for you. So everything about instinct, my instincts say go for it, but your conditioning is going to keep you disciplined. And is this going to get me the best yield for what I'm trying to accomplish?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually, because that you're 100% correct. You know, you have to be able to slow down everything to be able to get what you want to get done and retrain your brain. You know, you have to your mind.
Oh, your mind, because the brain and the mind do different things.
Yeah, your mind. You know.
Yeah. So the
and
mind, man, you got to switch your mind frame. You got to train. You got to hit. I don't see the standpoint. People hitting the gym. Hey, do you meditate? No.
I know that's one aspect of the three. You know, you have to. Yeah.
You don't meditate?
I know. And people look at you weird. You know, we have to get. It's actually kind of cool because over the last 5 years, it's actually become more common to meet people who have started meditating.
Right. So you got to meditate, man. You got to meditate. You got to go within, man. You got to go to the dark place, meaning the darkness reflect, you know, learn your breathing techniques, alkaline your blood, the whole nine, man. Get into it. And that's the basis of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people want to be enlightened. I'm going off the subject right now. I got to get back. I want to be enlightened. I want to be, man, but you don't meditate.
Hashtag woke.
Hashtag woke, but you don't meditate. It's an oxymoron.
I know.
Can't happen. And but anyway, back to the subject matter. So meditation is number one. The second thing is, now that I meditate, now that I've stretched out my brain, I mean my mind, and I've conditioned my mind, the next thing, I have to have a system in there. So just like meditation is your mind. Now I've updated my software. Now I have the latest Windows application. Now I have to install the system, the Windows, for practicality. I have to put my apps in there. Your apps are your systems. Yeah. So I have to put my methodology of decision making in there. Now that I downloaded the new software, am I making this? You seeing the The
Oh yeah,
comparison.
for sure. Yeah, it's real important. You have to be able to see and make those decisions for sure. You're building up you're building up your mind to be able to make it and be successful in what you do. And these are the baby steps for sure.
So my methodology in decision making, I learned at an early age, is I think about things 5 different ways before I make a decision. I go from left to right, like right to left, up, down, down, up, and then diagonal.
Okay.
So I analyze it from every angle before I make a decision. So I play devil's advocate,
Yeah.
right to left to right, up, down to up, then diagonal. So I think about it from every angle. Then I see what'll give me the best yield for what I try to do. So part of my mainframe, part of my methodology is you got to know your goals.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you write all that stuff down when you're going from left to right, up and down, or do you just keep it up here usually?
Well, now I've gotten so fast with it, I can do everything in the mind. First of all, the mind is not up here. We don't know where the mind's at, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
for everyone else.
Right. So the mind, I keep it in the mind now, but my goals are always written down. So I know my goals. That's the framework of everything. You got to know your goals. If you don't know your goals, then you don't know where you're going. So of course you're gonna make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know your goals, like the inside and outside, you go over your goals. So when a fork in the road comes, that decision, all right, where are my goals? All right, if I go this way, it's X, 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 X. If I go this way, it's X, 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 Y. What will help me on my goal at this particular time? All right, X, 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 Y, I'll do this. One better than this road. So let me go this road. So even if it's, let's take out the equivalent. I mean, let's take out the equation about comfortability.
Yeah.
Take that out of the equation. Take out fun. Take out comfort. Take out taste. And this what'll be better for my goals. Then I make the decision.
And that's actually probably the hardest part, is to get out of that pattern, that comfort zone. Like if people actually wrote down everything that they like to do, and then
Right.
actually set it next to all their goals, like they would be thoroughly surprised on, like, well, I actually do make a lot of bad decisions instead of where I should be focusing my time.
Well, that's people's problem right there, the average people. And this is not particularly our audience, but the future millionaires, future billionaires that we talk to, they probably could bear witness to what we're saying.
They've seen it.
Yeah, the average person, their goals is stuff they like. I want to go on vacation. I want to be rich. I want to, this is stuff that you like to do. But then what is the hard stuff that's going to get you the goals? So most people don't know how to write goals. You have to do this I have to achieve this amount of money in order to get this vacation. So my goals, when I write my goals, it's the hard stuff.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the easy stuff is going to come. That's the fringe benefits of doing the hard stuff.
Yeah, maybe a little good lesson for just people out there listening. That's like, you think it's hard to like let go of food for like 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Right.
You think you're gonna let go of the food for a little bit, but then like try to sit down and meditate for like 2 minutes and see where that takes you. Because at first, when you start trying to slow down everything, it takes practice, and you have to make sure you put the time in. So instead of watching Netflix for 45 minutes, just like find a nice place, your safe place in your house or wherever it is, and just close your eyes and think.
Right. Or try not to think.
Exactly.
Think about less. You know what I'm saying? So once you can condition yourself to do that, then you're able to focus more and more and more. That's your stretching out of your mind. That's the stretch. That's your exercise for your mind. So most of us never exercise the mind. When you talk to people, you could tell they're all over the place.
Yeah,
Most
and
people
like
all
it's
over the place, and I can see why you wanna be the successful person. I've never seen a successful person that's scatterbrained.
yeah. See,
Oxymoron.
see, for me, it's really hard for me to like sit down and focus, and so it's taken me at least about 6 years to be able
Right,
to figure it out. So there's always hope, right?
right.
So
Yeah,
to
it
be able
takes
to fix.
years for this, man. Like I said, that's another thing. We want instant gratification. And it doesn't happen like that. That's why the lottery, um, America Got Talent. What's the other show with Simon?
American Idol.
American Idol culture has taken over America. You want to just instant stardom. You want instant gratification. You want instant riches. And it's like that for some people, but for the majority, it's not.
Yeah.
So for the self-made people that actually don't want the handout, that want to make it themselves, this is who I talk to. And with that, sometimes you have to by us being conditioned in the society, you have to totally remanufacture yourself. You have to become a whole different being, a whole nother animal, a whole nother beast.
And I think we talked about it in a previous show where you said sometimes we have to remanufacture ourselves multiple times too, like not
Exactly.
just once. Always keep on looking in. Oh my gosh, looking at. I'm so sorry. It's my cat. She's
Right.
being crazy.
So it's just like updated software. That software updates, the apps update daily, sometimes weekly. Everything looks like every time I touch my iPad, I'm updating something.
Hmm.
That's how you have to, man. You can't be married to one thing. That's another thing. Like I said, that's a whole nother beast right there. Is like I got people that's been in business for a while that don't listen to me because they're scared to update.
Yeah, fear plays a big role actually in all this kind of stuff. A lot of times, the fear of change or the fear of going into something you know you can do, but it's just like it's fear. Fear should never be the main factor of our lives, and for the majority, it really is.
Right.
Sadly,
Well, like I said, my cousin and I talked about this the other night. Fear is false evidence appearing real.
for sure.
And that's a whole can of worms about, you know, it's yourself that makes, yourself stagnant. Just like it's like this. Like when something's happening, you most times your first instinct is to freeze.
For sure.
So just like what happens when um you have a task at hand. Most of us freeze up and nothing happens. We say we want to have these grandiose dreams. And somebody tells you this is what it takes to get those grandiose dreams. And we freeze. And freeze means nothing moves.
Yeah.
So that's what happens to us. It freezes up like a deer in the headlights. So we got to get over that. And the only way you can get over that is through meditation.
Hmm.
Because once I can slow down my thoughts, when it's happening in real life, now I can speed that process up because I now know how to manipulate time.
Yeah. And that's the trick is to slow it all down.
Right. You got to slow it all down. And then that way, when it's happening in real life, all right, I'm already ready.
Yeah.
Most of us,
It's good life defense.
you get that freeze and nothing happens. It's that zoink.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. You get like you got hit by a club or something. And
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say it's good life advice too, like just for survival. Like if can you think in the quick moments? Can you make that decision, or if you're in a fight, like for your life, survival, can you make those decisions?
that's the perfect segue to the end. That's what I say is like all the time we don't have that time to make decisions. Sometimes we got to make decisions in a split second.
Oh, for sure.
So that's what I was getting to, is like, once you have your goals already inked in your mind, and you go over them where you know the goals, and you have your methodology, now I can speed up my methodology. That's why it's already in my mind. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
So
for
now
sure. Yeah.
I can make that decision quicker than before. But it's that exercise. Just like when you're in the gym, you don't start off with the heaviest weight, right?
Yeah, you start off, what you can do. Yep.
You start off with the lightweight. You do plenty of reps that gets your endurance up. Then you can add weight, and then you get better and better with your form and your format and stuff like that. It's just same thing how this works. Once you get your mind conditioned, now I can start speeding up and add heavier weight and so on and so forth. But you got to have that time where you stretch your mind. You got to do your stretches before you do your exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Stretching the mind is the meditation. Exercising is your practical, everyday, day-to-day decision making. But most people, the common people, we never stretch.
Yeah.
And that's why we get injured.
Amen to that. I preach stretching. Like, just I like the metaphors. It's really good. But just just base understanding is like, I preach stretching all the time to people.
Right.
You have to be able to move.
Right.
And I like how you put that into the mental exercise of moving. It's good.
Right. So we're gonna end it on that, man. I mean, anything else you want to add to that? Because we're right at the 31 mark.
Yeah, I would say just the hardest thing to do is make good decisions, and over time there's no such thing as bad decisions. They're all lessons, but you have to really fight for what you want to do, and throughout the journey, like, people will try to make you make bad decisions, or yourself will go into a place where it only can make bad decision because it's on you. So the goal is just to always try to live your life to the best that you can, and sometimes the best decisions are the hard decisions.
Right. So I mean, the only thing I would add to that, like I said, is um, again, me personally, I'm more want to say format and robotic, for lack of a better term. So get a format, get a formula together, and stick with that formula. I share with you my formula, to decision making, and again, like Steven said, yeah, even if you do make a wrong turn, it's not the end of the game. You still have to, you could win or you could learn. There is no losers in this game. So, so it is what it is. So from there, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Again, I got promote at the end, promote at the beginning as well. HOCmortgage.com.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ready for a mortgage 2020? Let it be the year of home ownership for you. Apply. HOCmortgage.com. Mentorship. I got a lot of people want me to sales train and stuff like that. I'm gonna start filming those as well. I have. I just did a workshop for crowdfunding. It's on I uploaded it earlier today, so check that out. I could do stuff like that for you as well. You want me to come in and teach? You want me to teach sales training? www.billionaireloanofficer.com. Go ahead and book me. Call 832-775-8357 if you got any questions, and at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Steven Contreras, go ahead, take them out, and then we go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, Steven Contreras 90 on Instagram, Steven Contreras on Facebook, and that was my cat Boo. She's a little tuxedo kitty, so she was making an appearance on today's show.
Right.
But yeah, just try to keep living your best lives, and try to meditate and learn, read, do all the hard stuff. Sometimes it's not fun, but you just gotta do it.
Right. So with that, I'm gonna leave you with God is a verb, and personal responsibility is your only savior. And with that,
Yeah, peace.
Let's say peace.